Hi, this is James from IELTS United. We are continuing with the tests from the IELTS test set. This is Book 9. We are on Test 1, and in this video we will do Section 4 together. If you want to see Section 3, click here. In this video, I'm going to be going through the test with you and explaining how I think about the IELTS listening test. Hopefully you will learn some tips and techniques to help you with your IELTS listening. This is a new test for me. I haven't seen this before, so we will be doing the test together. Let's get started.
Section 4. You will hear part of a lecture about a problem related to the behaviour of certain sea creatures. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Okay, so we have some time to look at questions 31 to 40. We have to complete the notes, and this is important. Write no more than 2 words for each answer. So sometimes students forget that. It's really important instruction, which is why it's in bold and capitals. Okay, let's read through together. So, mass strandings of whales and dolphins. Mass strandings, a situation where groups of whales, dolphins, etc. swim onto the beach and die. Okay, so they've explained that important vocabulary, mass strandings, to us. Common in areas where the something can change quickly. So we're thinking about areas where whales, dolphins and sea creatures could die easily by swimming onto the beach. And in those areas, something can change quickly. So think about what could change quickly that would cause sea creatures to die. I think weather could be an important one, where the weather could change quickly. Of course, we've got the definite article the here, so we know that it's going to be some kind of noun. It could be to do with the sea, so it could be currents or tides. So thinking about vocabulary related to the ocean. Okay, several other theories. Parasites. So some parasites can affect marine animals. Alright, so parasites, those are creatures that live off of other creatures. Things like ticks and mites that maybe bite you. So some parasites can affect the dolphins and whales, those marine animals. And notice that's a possessive, genitive case. So it's something belonging to the animals. So the parasites can affect the marine animals something which they depend on for navigation. So what do creatures depend on for navigation? So it could be the animal's vision, their sight, could be their hearing, it could be a body part, like their brains, perhaps. So we're listening for something belonging to marine animals, which they depend on for navigation. Okay, next we're looking at toxins. So poisons from something or something are commonly consumed by whales. Okay, so poisons are something that could kill or damage the animals, and where could they come from? So could it be industrial waste? Could it be manufacturing, humans? Could it be different animals? Poisons from different animals, something they eat, so food, nutrients. Thinking about that, maybe it's prey, so the kind of animals that they eat. Okay, so these words will be relevant. For example, Cape Cod, so that's a place we can see by the capital letters. In 1988, whales were killed by saxitoxin. Okay, so some kind of toxin. Accidental strandings. Animals may follow prey ashore, such as in Thurston, again a place with that capital letter in 1995. And this is unlikely because the majority of animals were not something when they were stranded. So animals may follow prey. This is unlikely because they were not something when they were stranded. So maybe they were not hunting, maybe they were not chasing them. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, human activity, 35. So something from military tests are linked to some recent strandings. So when you think about military tests, you might think about bombs being dropped. So it could be a word like fallout, or maybe destruction, chemicals related to military tests. And they give us another example. The Bahamas in 2000, stranding was unusual because the whales were all... So what could they be that's related to this? Were they all in good condition? Were they all healthy? Were they all of a certain age? And they were not in a... So we're thinking about maybe a place or a condition. Alright, group behaviour. More strandings in the most something species of whales. So notice we're talking about group behaviour. So the most, and it's a characteristic, so an adjective, species of whales. So the most friendly, the most social, the most sociable, the most interactive, those kind of words would be important. So notice that I'm going through and I'm thinking of synonyms, related words and antonyms, and I'm also thinking logically about the context. In 1994, dolphin stranding, only the something was ill. Okay, so a noun, difficult to say, but it's ill, so it's going to be a creature, so perhaps only the lead, maybe it's important in their social structure, so perhaps it's the mother or something like that. Okay, further reading. Marine Mammals Ashore by Connor. So it's the name of a book. It's given in italics and it's got an author, so we know that's a book. And of course, it's from the section Further Reading. So using that context to help us understand. It gives information about stranding something. Difficult to know what this is from the context. Okay, so let's listen and go through the test together.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, with some of you about to go out on field work, it's timely that in this afternoon's session I'll be sharing some ideas about the reasons why groups of whales and dolphins sometimes swim ashore from the sea right onto the beach and, most often, die in what are known as mass strandings. Unfortunately, this type of event is a frequent occurrence in some of the locations that you'll be travelling to, where sometimes the tide goes out suddenly, confusing the animals. However, there are many other theories about the causes of mass strandings. The first is that the behaviour is linked to parasites. It's often found that stranded animals were infested with large numbers of parasites. For instance, a type of worm is commonly found in the ears of dead whales. Since marine animals rely heavily on their hearing to navigate, this type of infestation has the potential to be very harmful. Another theory is related to toxins or poisons. These have also been found to contribute to the death of many marine animals. Many toxins, as I'm sure you're aware, originate from plants or animals. The whale ingests these toxins in its normal feeding behaviour, but whether these poisons directly or indirectly lead to stranding and death seems to depend upon the toxin involved. In 1988, for example, 14 humpback whales examined after stranding along the beaches of Cape Cod were found to have been poisoned after eating tuna that contained saxitoxin, the same toxin that can be fatal in humans. Alternatively, it has also been suggested that some animals strand accidentally by following their prey ashore in the confusion of the chase. In 1995, David Thurston monitored pilot whales that beached after following squid ashore. However, this idea does not seem to hold true for the majority of mass strandings because examination of the animal's stomach contents revealed that most had not been feeding as they stranded. There are also some new theories which link strandings to humans. A growing concern is that loud noises in the ocean cause strandings. Noises such as those caused by military exercises are of particular concern and have been pinpointed as the cause of some strandings of late. One of these, a mass stranding of whales in 2000 in the Bahamas, coincided closely with experiments using a new submarine detection system. There were several factors that made this stranding stand out as different from previous strandings. This led researchers to look for a new cause. For one, all the stranded animals were healthy. In addition, the animals were spread out along 38 kilometres of coast, whereas it's more common for the animals to be found in a group when mass strandings occur. A final theory is related to group behaviour and suggests that sea mammals cannot distinguish between sick and healthy leaders and will follow sick leaders, even to an inevitable death. This is a particularly interesting theory, since the whales that are thought to be most social, the toothed whales, are the group that strand the most frequently. The theory is also supported by evidence from a dolphin stranding in 1994. Examination of the dead animals revealed that, apart from the leader, all the others had been healthy at the time of their death. Without one consistent theory, however, it is very hard for us to do anything about this phenomenon except to assist animals where and when we can. Stranding networks have been established around the world to aid in rescuing animals and collecting samples from those that could not be helped. I recommend John Connor's Marine Mammals Ashore as an excellent starting point if you're interested in finding out more about these networks or establishing one yourself.
That is the end of the listening test. In the IELTS test, you would now have 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet.
That's the end of section 4. As we saw, doing some logical reading and making some guesses before the test starts is really important. Quite a lot of these we could guess from the context, and a lot of information was given to us. So let's take a look now at the answers to these questions and see if we did well or not. Okay, so 31, the tide can change quickly. Okay, and that's whether the water is coming in or going out away from the shore over a period of 12 hours. 32, some parasites can affect marine animals' hearing, is what they've given, and I've given ears, but fortunately ear or ears is okay. So remember, sometimes there's more than one answer, but as long as you put what they say on the tape, then you should be fine. Number 33, poisons from plants or animals, I put. In either order, both are required for the 1 mark. So plants, animals, fish, or fishes. So again, multiple potential answers, but as long as you put what you hear on the tape, it should be fine. Having more potential answers is not a problem for us. In fact, it's a benefit for us. Unlikely because the majority of animals were not feeding, 34, and 34 is feeding, good. Loud noises from military tests, so this was a bit of a complicated one because it's difficult to guess from the context. All we knew was that it would be a noun of some kind, and here it's a plural noun. Remember that we were told you should give 2 words and not more, 1 or 2 words. That's really important to remember. Okay, the Bahamas, all the whales were 36, healthy, yes. They were not in a 37 group, good. So there's only one potential answer here, so you're just listening for that important word. More strandings in the most social species, yes. And dolphin stranding in 1994, only the leader was ill, correct. Further reading, this was a difficult one because it's maybe something that was unfamiliar. I've not heard of these networks before. Marine mammals ashore gives information about stranding networks. Yes, so you had to listen a little bit longer to hear more context from this final question. Okay, so if you had any that you got wrong, why don't you go back and listen again? Remember that you can use the subtitles on YouTube to check what the tape is saying, and hopefully that will help you. So this was IELTS Book 9, Test 1, Listening Section 4. It was the final section of the listening part. If you want to go back and listen to previous sections, click here. And you can always join us on Facebook for full support from our community of teachers and students, where we share resources and help so that you can do as well as possible in your IELTS. So good luck in your IELTS exam, and thank you for listening. See you again soon.